Hello again, Standing Rock. So in our previous videos, we talked about my platform to reform the tribal government, and we've also now talked about how we can improve the tribal organization. So now that we have improved the tribal organization and structured our programs into 4 consortia, we can start solving some of the lingering problems in each one of those consortia's sectors. So let's start with my 16-point plan on child and family welfare. 16 points are a lot, so I'm going to break these video explanations down into 4 parts so that you don't have information overload. So points 1 through 3 deal with our child welfare system and how to improve it. Points 4 through 6 talk about improving our data collection and our usage of that data so that we know what's working and what's not working. Points 7 through 11 address meth and drug addiction, both treatment and law. Points 12 through 14 talk about how we can better invest in our youth leadership and empowerment. And points 15 and 16 respectively talk about how we can rethink our access to child care and about investing in women's leadership and holding summits. So, point 1. I propose that we need to develop a Standing Rock-centered parenting curriculum. The breakdown of family units on Standing Rock really is at the heart of a lot of our problems. We need to develop our own Standing Rock parenting curriculum that incorporates our cultural and language teachings to strengthen our families. It should also include the practical pieces of the parenting curriculums that many of our employees have already been trained in. It's a good idea, I think, to marry the two and create sort of a hybrid of what we need. It should also include a focus or an element to focus on giving parents all the tools that they need to lead a loving and well-structured and successful family. We must put additional focus on parents who have already spent time in our child welfare system, because often they end up in a cyclical trap where their family units break down as well. Moreover, we need to stop expecting programs like CPS to be responsible for supervising parents. I think that this type of attitude only adds to our culture of dependency. We must embrace individual sovereignty from government. And this is actually a goal already identified by the Children and Families Consortium. And I will continue to aid in the work on this. Point 2. We need to give child protection services the tools they need to succeed. Our child support program that I direct and CPS share a building. And in fact, I spent a few months as acting director of CPS a couple years ago. I have seen firsthand the workload, the societal pressures, and the breakdown in support in our child welfare system. We need to get ahead of the problem and stop fighting to do less when we obviously need to do more. I think we need to start with funding. CPS is woefully underfunded. At the government level, we need to work and negotiate with the Bureau of Indian Affairs to get them the funding that matches their current caseload. We need to revise Title VI, the Children's Code, and allow for the courts to order more in-home safety plans to reduce the breakup of family units as much as possible. And we need to give CPS the tools to adjust their program policies and procedures to fit these code revisions, and to adequately train their staff. We also need to work with our area schools to make sure that their policies are in line with these code revisions and with the CPS policies, so that all of the pieces are on the same page. Finally, for this section, point 3, we need to incentivize social work education and employment on Standing Rock. In point 2, we talked about increasing the funding to CPS. And this is also necessary then to attract social workers that we desperately need. Often, people who do have the social work credentials that we are looking for will end up working for the state in Bismarck because they will offer more money and obviously more access to adequate housing. So we need to find a way to attract that type of talent to be employed within our programs. Unfortunately, the tribe has been in a salary freeze for the last 3 years, and now we are even in a job reclassification freeze. So it will be one of my first priorities within that first quarter transition period to evaluate the continuance of these freezes, as they are clearly hindering elements of our progress. It will also be in our best interest, I believe, to aid Sitting Bull College in any way that we can to develop their social work program, or to at least look at offering additional scholarships to students going into this field because we have such a great need for it. So that's it for part 1 of my child and family welfare platform. In my next video, we will be focusing on how we can better collect data and how collecting that data will aid in creating additional progress for us. So thank you again for your time, Standing Rock. Until next time.